Hey, I'm still a little discombobulated. I went to that funeral yesterday. That I just don't need to go to stuff like that. But today is a much happier occasion because all of you are here and we'll get to get our giggle on and our like, oh my God, and our what the hell and all of those kind of things that usually accompany this show. This is a live stream relationship advice column where people submit questions in advance. Their questions are either chosen or not, but if chosen, it goes into the column. I read the letters out loud and I give a response off the cuff. If you received a response from Candace that said that your letter will be in the column today, just listen out for it. We don't put them in any, they're not in like first come, first served order or anything like that. They're just randomly mixed in there. And you should also, in addition to what I have to say, look into the chat stream and see what the chatters have to say to augment my response. Sometimes they have a different perspective. Sometimes they live in the area that you're writing from and they have more information about resources and things that are available to help you out of your situation than I might have. Okay, because I'm all the way in California. A lot of people are writing from Canada, from someplace in the UK, it's just from all over Australia. So, look for that as well if you submitted a letter. Before we get started, I want to show you guys, in case you missed it, I did a little upload today because I kept getting asked about, there's some meme that was floating around and it had some crazy responses about what, first date rules and like be late and stuff. It just was stupid. I'm like, man, you do the stuff on this thing, you will never get a second date. It had Kim Kardashian as the image on it. So I'm like, is this sarcasm, a parody? I wasn't quite sure what to make of it. But anyway, I finally finished my, I don't know, counter meme, I guess you could say, my response to it. So here we go. Uh-huh. Your friend over here just messing up royally, aren't I? Okay, here we go. Dang, I thought it was playing and I'm sitting there, you guys just staring at me, poor things. Well, you know what? Never mind all that because it's just, I'm not doing it right, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, it's on the channel. You can go there. It's the latest upload. It's about, I don't know, 3 minutes long. It's not very long. But as I'm looking at it, I designed it to respond to a meme talking about first dates. But as I was looking at it, I think it applies to way more than first dates because I think the answer to a lot of the questions, the responses that we're going to, the questions rather, that we're going to get um, here tonight would apply to, these rules would apply to them as well as previous advice columns. So there's a lot of just basic common sense in those 12 guidelines for first dates. But just excuse me, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So just go and look for it yourself on YouTube. Let's get started with what I do know something about, and that is the advice column with 26 advice questions today. We got 26. Did we only have 23 last week? Okay, question number one. You guys, please remember that there's 26 questions. Remember also to watch your language. Do not use profanity and things like that. Um, uh, Shay will keep, kind of keep a rein on those things, but sometimes it might slip by because you guys chat so fast it flies by. So I'm requesting that you please watch your language. Do not direct negative comments towards the other chatters. Do this because it's really not your concern. And let's just have a good time. Okay, let's offer a hopeful, pleasant, intelligent analysis of the letter writer's question and any perspectives that you have that may be helpful for them. Feel free to share them. Okay. So let's get started. Question number one. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group. She's African American from Washington, D.C. I work a minimum wage job, and my husband has a very high paying job in IT. He works long hours, sometimes 12 to 14 hours a day. Dang. My job is physically demanding, but I work fixed 8-hour shifts. At home, I do all the household chores such as vacuuming and mopping, laundry, cooking, grocery shopping, etc. He agreed to do dishes after a lot of back and forth, but most days the dishes don't get done and I end up doing that too. He thinks it's unfair that he's bringing the majority of the household income and is also expected to lift some of the household load. I wish to focus on my career and get out of the minimum wage job and pursue other options, but I'm left with no energy to even build a resume for each role that I wish to apply for. I feel if he shared some of the housework, I would have some free time to focus on increasing my income. If this matters, ever since we got married, I haven't had a stable job due to my mental health. I dropped the ball and now I am trying to start again from scratch. I do feel guilty that I did not contribute much financially for 3 to 4 years even though in our marriage. He thinks I should be grateful that he supported me while I was dysfunctional, which I am. But when I argue with him about household chores, I come across as ungrateful to him. How should I respond when he says he will contribute equally at home when I start contributing equal money into the house? Well, what would I tell him? I would tell him, if I divorced you and I got alimony, then my income would bump up. And guess what? You'd have to do all the housework all by yourself. So, I mean, I don't see where it's a big deal for you to kick in, 30 minutes a day or something like that, doing something and a little bit more on the weekend. Now, if you look for him to do an equal amount to you, that's never going to happen. You can forget it. It's never going to happen. First of all, whether he was making the most money or not, the fact that he's working 12 to 14-hour days ought to tell you that that's just an impossible dream. That's not going to happen. That's just folly. Now, if you really are feeling overburdened and you don't have the time and you don't wish to do it all, then pay somebody. And then both of y'all have free time to do so. You have time to work on developing your resumes and all this other stuff. And then he'll have free time to do whatever he does when he gets home and from his 12 to 14-hour days. That would be the only solution I could think of where y'all don't, split up. You just pay somebody. It doesn't have to be every day, a couple of times a week, even once a week. If they come in and do a big clean, like say on Saturday, that'll be the day that you designate to spend at your computer working on your resumes and applying for jobs. Okay, think about it. Look, investigate how much it costs in Washington, D.C. to have somebody come in and do 6, 7, 8 hours of house cleaning, and then you figure out how to pay them out of his money since he makes so much. And then there you go. Then neither one of you have to be burdened with the housework. That would be my solution. Because, just because you make more than me and I had a mental health crisis and stuff does not mean I should be punished for that. And that's what I mean, I don't think that's his goal. Let me put it straight. I don't think that's what he's trying to do. But what I'm saying is that's the end result in how you're feeling, the resentment that you're building up. Well, why doesn't he help? But you got to remember, girl, I keep coming back to that. Anybody who works a 12 or 14-hour day is not going to want to come home and do dishes. I'm sorry. So the solution, I really feel the best solution for you too, is to pay somebody, maybe once or twice a week. The dishes, just stick them in the dishwasher. I mean, how many dishes can two people use anyway? My goodness. Question number 2, female, 22 to 27. She's out of San Jose, California. Asked my boyfriend of 1 year if he could drive me to the airport. I'm letting him know weeks in advance before my flight. I have a very early morning flight and have to be there at around 4 a.m. He works at 9 but works from home, so he could come home and still sleep in if he wanted to. He said that he would not be able to take me. I am pretty upset about it because I would have done it in a heartbeat for him if he had asked me. Is it okay for me to feel hurt about this since I think it is a sign of how much he's actually willing to sacrifice for me if he cares about me? No, you stupid as hell. Let me just tell you this. As much as I loved my husband, we were married. He used to take these crazy morning flights, and you know what? I would roll over one side of the bed and let him figure it out by himself. You could drive your car, you could park at the airport, you could take a taxi, you could take Uber, you could take the airport bus, you could take BART. I mean, I'm talking about here in this area. BART goes right to the airport in San Francisco. It goes right to the bus to the station where you can go and take a little shuttle down to the Oakland airport. Okay, there's no reason why I should have to get up and take him anywhere at 3 something in the morning for a 4 a.m. flight. I'm not doing that. Yeah, and then you're gonna be getting all in your feelings because somebody want to do that trash for you. You sound stupid. Okay, figure it out. You the one that wanted that discount cheap early before birds even wake up flight. That's your problem. You should have chose something that was more reasonable. But you want to save money and you want to do other stuff. But your issue there does not recreate a problem or an inconvenience for anybody else. You chose what was convenient for you in your wallet, so you deal with it. Now, see, he was very nice. He didn't tell you that. But if you was my girlfriend, that you would have got an earful. And I would have told you all about yourself and told you if you didn't like it, get on that plane and keep going. Because I'm never going to get up at no 3 o'clock in the morning to take your ass nowhere unless it's an emergency and you have a heart attack or stroke or something. Then I might. But most likely I still wouldn't. I would call 911. Yeah, these crazy demands. Yeah, they got Ubers, they got taxis, they got all kinds of stuff that you could take besides making your mate wake up after going to sleep and wake up and then take you all the way to the airport and then come all the way back and get another 2 or 3 hours of sleep at the most before he has to get up to get ready for work. Whether people work at home or not is not the point. The point is you have to be alert and you can't be tired while you're behind the wheel of a car. That's very risky, very dangerous and silly thing to do. So all in all, I think you are 150% in the wrong. No, you do not have the right to be mad or upset. You sound stupid. And you just sound like, you just being very selfish and self-centered. Like I said, the 3 things here, you chose a discount flight to save yourself money. You chose to go at 3, you have to get up at 3 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning, whatever, to go to catch a 4 a.m. flight. You did that. Nobody else had any input in decision making there. You did all that because it worked for you. Then what's going to work for you is to get your ass to the airport in time to take that early bird discount flight. That's all on you. Question number 3, female, 22 to 27. She's white from Austin, Texas. We just recently moved into a new apartment. We recently moved into a new apartment, me and my best friend, and we're both female. We came home around 9:30 after dinner, and there were 4 elevators. When we got off our floor, this other guy got off another elevator at the same time, who also lives on the same floor, we found out. We were walking behind him when he started to subtly look at us like side-eyeing to see what we looked like. There was also a window on our floor, and he stare at the window to see our reflection. Then he started to walk very, very slowly, and he was already at the front of his house, but did not enter and kept side-eyeing to kind of look at what unit number we live in. And me and my friend both rushed into the house, and we both had that gut feeling that it was so creepy. But we're not sure if we were just being paranoid. Also, any advice on what to do in this situation when he hasn't done anything extreme for us to even report? Typical white girl fear. Okay. The man lives, you knew, and he's curious about the fact that two attractive ladies moved onto his floor. So he's looking at you. Okay. Anybody would look at you. Male, female, kids, anybody on the floor would look at you because you're new on the floor and you just moved in. Now he may didn't do it the best way. He could have been more overt about it and introduced himself and say, I live right here, you know, and you guys could have introduced yourself, it would have been better. But he's stupid, and so he has poor social skills, and so he did it that way, trying to be sly and making a whole bunch of drama. But there's nothing to be afraid of here. I mean, if he starts knocking on your door weird times at night of trying to follow you into your house, well, then yeah, you would be something to be nervous about. But right now, you just acting stupid and scary for no damn reason. The man is curious because you just moved in. They're gonna look. Jesus Christ. Always looking for something to be fucking scared of. You drive me crazy with this. The man didn't say nothing to you and he didn't do anything. He didn't move away from his door towards you. There was absolutely nothing for you to be afraid of. You go through life like this, you're going to just burn out by the time you hit 30, being scared of every goddamn thing. Okay? Keep in mind, like I said, you just moved in. Everybody going to be looking at you. Even if people that don't live on your floor, they're going to see you in the elevator, they're going to be looking at you. Because they're going to wonder who you are. When did you move in? What's your name? What floor are you guys on? People want to know who's in their environment. My God. I'm just saying, they are, I've had plenty of white friends in my lifetime. Don't act like this is something. And they always be the most scared, just scared of every goddamn thing. It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Just, oh my God, what if this and what if that? I'm like, how do white people stay alive just being so scared of everything all the goddamn time? I'm just like, my goodness gracious. Yeah, just silly about for no goddamn reason. Question number 4, female, 28 to 34 from Atlanta. My baby daddy is 37 and I'm 31. We were engaged for 3 years with a wedding delayed due to COVID. I found out that he was cheating on me with his ex, and so we broke up. Found out I was pregnant. I decided to keep it. Gave him the option to have a clean break. He decided that he wanted to be a dad. We've been co-parenting pretty well, but we have some boundary issues. Or do we? I don't even know anymore. I have the baby on the weekdays. He takes us out for breakfast on Saturdays. Once in a while, he drops by my place during the week to hang out with Lo, maybe that means for little one. But the last few weeks, he has been over almost every day with the excuse of bringing us dinner. Neither of us is currently in a relationship. Turns out his ex was just going around with him. But I know he's been talking to other girls out on dates and trying to move on as well, but I'm in no rush. I'm just enjoying motherhood. I'm conflicted over how much we are around each other. I don't want to keep him from the baby, and the extra help is welcome, but at the same time, I feel like this has the potential to end badly if I get used to having him around. What should I do? You should put limits on him and boundaries and say you can come twice a week. You're gonna come in and you're gonna take the baby on to wherever y'all going. You're not gonna be lingering around here. I'm not gonna be going out to breakfast with you anymore, like a date, like it's a little family or something. We're gonna curtail all of this. I don't know what you're trying to pull, what kind of game you're trying to run, but it's not gonna work. Okay, you're not gonna come to my house every day, because you can't. How you gonna move on with him there all the time? You can't talk to no other dude because he's there. You can't have no other dude over because he's there. So you see, essentially, he's cock blocking. So you need to get him up out your house, put some parameters around it. Tell him he can come over twice a week or whatever you want to do. Come and take the baby with him for the afternoon, so a couple hours, whatever. You set that up and y'all agree to it. But he is not to keep coming to your house. You shouldn't even let this get started. I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm conflicted over how much we around each other. You're not conflicted. You like the shit. That's why you let him keep coming. And now you realize, oh no, this could be a problem. How am I gonna move on and have some other man up in here if he's here all the time? That's what you realize. And it's the fact that you were trying to think about getting attached. Is he trying to get us together? That's why you mentioned the other women that he's talking to. Because if you wasn't interested in him, whoever else he's talking to wouldn't have been a concern. It wouldn't even appeared in this letter. You feel me? You think I'm stupid and I don't know what's going on? Try again. Question number 5, female, 22 to 27, no location provided. My roommate's 22-year-old boyfriend is over all the time, even though he has his own place and he doesn't even share that room with anybody. I'm just at a loss. I am friends with my roommate, but her boyfriend practically lives here already. He has commitments every day, so he's usually gone in the day. But damn, he's practically an extra roommate that I did not expect. I mean, the rules don't even allow an opposite sex genders in a room unless you're a spouse, parent, or sibling. Those rules exist for a reason. Plus, her boyfriend's attitude just doesn't sit with me. I only seem friends with him because of forced proximity, but that's just it. However, it seems like I can't do anything about this because I don't really want drama, and it's going to be two versus one if I ever voice this out. Sigh, take your little narrow ass down to the housing director or whoever arranges the housing and enforces the rules and say, I want this guy out of the apartment. He's there every day, every night. He doesn't live there, and it makes me not be able to enjoy the space that I'm paying for because he's there. Get him out. Make her understand that he's not to spend the night here anymore. He's not a spouse, he's not a sibling, and he's not a, what else did you say? A parent. I don't want him in our place. If she wants to live with him, then she should move out. That should be an option that's provided to her. But right now she's ruining my life. She's ruining my peace of mind where I live, and I don't like it. I want him out. That's what you do. And then they'll go and they'll give him a notice to get the fuck out, and they'll give her a warning. You do that shit again, you're gonna be up out of here. And then she'll stop. You're just being too passive. You letting him get away. You should have nipped this in the bud the third day he was there. If you don't want to say anything because you scary, see, again, another scary type, then I mean, for me, I would have been like, what the fuck is this? Why are you at our house all the time? Get the fuck out and go to your house. And when I get up, I want to walk around in my drawers and underwear and stuff. I don't want you in here. In here. You don't pay nothing. You sitting around here just taking up space and impeding on my use of the place I pay rent. Get out. And tell her if you want to be with him, then you get your shit and you move in with him. But right now, this ain't working here. And plus, bam, here's a copy of the rental agreement. You're not supposed to be here. And one more time, with you, I'm going to report you to the whatever. I'm going to report you. I want you out of here. I don't want you spending the night here anymore. Any nights that you have, you go to his house. And that would have been that. They would have been like, well, you can't tell us what to do. No, I can't. But you know what? Who can? Bam. That's who can. And that's what you're going to do, or you're going to be the fuck up out of here permanently. So which one do you want? I wouldn't be playing with her. Would not be. Yeah, she don't know what she's doing. She don't know what she's doing. She don't need to move. Well, I mean, unless you're talking about the girl with the boyfriend, she's the one that needs to move. She need to move in with him, since she want to be up under him all the time. That would never happen. Not if I was renting it. Mm-mm. So those are your two options. If you don't want to speak up, you go get the big wigs involved. Question number 6, female. We got 26 questions today for anybody who just wandered in. We have 26 questions, and we're on question number 6. Female, 20 to 34. She is Caucasian from Florida, and she's writing about another female who's in the 35 to 41 age group, so a little older. How do I tell my friend that I really want to talk about other things other than her kid? Just so you know, I'm also the mom of a toddler who I love to pieces, but I try not to be the mom that brags and overblasts every little detail of their life. The drama is I have a friend who I met through our local Facebook group almost 3 years ago. We've grown pretty close, but for a while it's been one-sided. I'd say a little more than 2 years. And I think lately it's just really starting to hit me. She consistently sends me pictures and videos of her toddler, and for a while I didn't mind, but it's rarely asking how we are. The moment I changed the topic to food or pets, it was either an emoji response or one word comment, and then back to her activity or another topic about her toddler. Just very recently, I tested positive for the global situation, and she asked how I was, and I said, it's been rough. She replied, hope you get better, and then she went back to talking about her toddler. Deb, it's a bit overwhelming for me to just feel like the toddler's our only topic of conversation. I understand that kid is her world, but when I do try to talk about something else that I feel is important, it's reverted quickly back to her kid. I am a bit hurt, but at the same time, I know that some people's brains are wired weird, and she put a question mark, very hyper focused. I'm trying to understand my own feelings on this. Should I create distance or just tell her how I feel? If I do, it's definitely would hurt her feelings. Any insights would be appreciated. Well, my motto is better thee than me. So I'd rather her feelings be hurt than mine. And my thing is I don't understand, why are people so passive? Why would you let somebody treat you like this for 2+ years and you don't say nothing and you write to me? Do you know how much of a wuss you sound like right now? How can you be somebody's mother and you're supposed to have a mother bear protective attitude about your kid and you can't even stand up for yourself? When somebody's saying stupid shit to you that you don't want to hear, you don't have no boundaries and you're just spineless. It's embarrassing. It drives me crazy when women write these kind of letters. I'm in a bad mood today. I think I'm in a bad mood because that funeral yesterday messed me up. But I'm just really not feeling this at all. I'm not feeling and not having any boundaries with this woman. So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna text her back and say, I don't want you to send me any more pictures of your child. The reason is that's all you talk about. That's all you do. There's no other conversation. There's no other interest that you seem to have, and it's very boring to me. So, if that's the kind of friendship that you want to have, where I'm just a sounding board for your brags about your kid, then let's end this. And I will block your number. You can block mine, and we'll go on with our lives. And I'm very serious right now. So, do you have anything else going on in your life that you can talk about that would be interesting to a woman with something else going on in her life? She's going to probably say no, or you're very mean, or something like that. And you say, okay, well, that's the answer that I needed. And you hang up and you block her. I mean, I don't understand why this is a problem and what is a big deal. The woman's driving you crazy. I'm telling you, this is better thee than me. That's been my motto since I was 4. As soon as I learned about Shakespeare and thee, thy, thou'st, and all of that kind of stuff, I used to walk around using those words because I was just so intrigued with them. Because, in the hood, people don't talk like that. So I'm reading this, my mother's reading this book to us and stuff, and I think it was Romeo and Juliet. And she was reading it to me. And I was just so fascinated with the way that they spoke. And so I came up with this thing, better thee than me, in my 4-year-old self. And I've been like that ever since. I'm not going to be going through no whole bunch of changes. You are. So that would be my response to her. Question number 7, female, 20 to 34. She's European from Newport, Wales. Ooh. My mum passed away and I received my inheritance. It's a life-changing amount of money. I have used it to pay off mine and my partner's debts, and we're in the process of also buying a house. I collect books as my main hobby, and I've got enough money to comfortably afford to treat myself to some books. But my partner is not impressed with me doing this. I've probably spent less than 1% of the money so far. My partner is also talking about how the new house needs a new kitchen and bathroom, and when I ask how we paying for this, I get angry responses. I don't mind paying for these things at all, but if someone's going to dictate how I spend my money, they shouldn't get to say what I spend it on if they think they can tell me what I can't spend it on. He tells me, quote, it's not right, as in I should feel guilty for having received it. I'm not sure how to address this without it causing an argument. Why don't you get rid of this fool? Why would you pay off his debts with your inheritance? Do you realize that inheritance is not community property? And you say partner, that don't sound like a husband. That means you're not even married to this clown. But you're just gonna let him sponge off of you and I buying a house and all this other stuff here? No, 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 no. You're not gonna do that. What you're gonna do is take some time and you're gonna go and you're gonna consult uh, an estate's attorney. That's what you're gonna do. And you're going to talk about the money you got from your inheritance and how you can structure your accounts so that they're foolproof, locked down, and he can't get to them. Your name is the only name on the account. You're going to set up for who's going to get it. If something happens to you, where does it go? To one of your other relatives, not to him. And you make it so that he receives no benefit other than what you've already given him from your inheritance. If you should buy a house, you should set up a trust in the name of whatever you're going to do. Set up a trust for your family. Buy the house in the trust so that he can live there with you if he wants to, but he will never, ever, ever develop any equity in, and he will never have he will never own any portion of your house that you bought with your inheritance. But personally, coming at me like this, I would get rid of him because it shows that he's focused on the money and what you can do for him and how it's gonna make him come up. He's not thinking about you. He's not thinking about you and the fact that you lost your mother. He's thinking about how it's gonna help him come up. So personally, I would get rid of him, but it doesn't sound like you're ready for that. So like I said, you go and consult what you guys call a solicitor, and you take care to have your money protected so he can't get to it now or ever. Even if you get married to him, it's still locked down and he can't have no access to it. Okay? That's what you're going to do. Question number 8, female, 22 to 27 from Spokane, Washington. I have the weirdest situation that I need some advice on. My fiance and I are getting married in December, and his bachelor party is next weekend in a lake town. He's been looking forward to it for months, and I'm excited for him. I really like his friends. But yesterday I got a group text from 3 of the guys who are planning the weekend. They said they had a crazy request and I could say no and block them if I'm offended. Basically, they're planning a game of pin the tail on the booty for one night during the weekend where my fiance will try to pin the tail on a photo of a girl's ass. Juvenile but typical bachelor party stuff in my view. Anyway, they were scouting the internet for appropriate photos for the game, and one of them suggested they just ask me if I'd like to serve as the booty for my fiance's game, and if so, could I send a photo? I have to admit I laughed. My first reaction was, no, that's okay, you guys do your thing. I don't need to be involved. But the more I think about it, it's sort of a cute and fun idea. So this is where I need advice. Would this be weird to even consider? And if I agree, what kind of photo is right for this kind of thing? You're not going to do this. You're not going to do this. Tell them to look on the internet for this girl called Buffy the Body or Megan the Stallion. They got ass for days. Pin something on that. Okay, you do not appear in any kind of state where the guys are going to be having fantasies about your body and you about to get married to this groom. That would be just so inappropriate and so tawdry, and I can't even believe they thought of that. So to me, the fact that they even went there shows they have some designs. There's some kind of weird attraction and fascination with you. That is such a totally inappropriate comment to even make, and that's why they said you could block us. But you up here writing about if you should do it. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. If they insist, say, well, let's do this. Let's do this. Each one of y'all take a picture. And then when it's my bachelorette party, I'm going to put 3 or 4 pictures of y'all up there. We're going to pin the dick on the nut case. Pin the dick on and see how they like that. See that? It's the same thing, right? So, yeah, tell them to do that and tell them to leave you alone. Or go hire some girl to take a picture of her or something. They have girls, them little online people with them the OnlyFans people. Tell one of them, they'll send you a picture of it. You got to pay them, but they'll send you one, and they can use that. They're trying to get something free. But there's something about this. This is very unsavory. This is very weird. Don't be alone with any of his friends while y'all's married, especially if they've been drinking. Don't do it. There's something that's not right about this. Well, I don't know, Giggles. That's what I'm saying. This is like I don't know what they were thinking, but whatever they were thinking is inappropriate. It's very disrespectful. And she up there being stupid and entertaining it. See, this is what I mean about these young girls. They don't have any sense, no sense of boundaries and decorum. There's no way your buddies, your man's buddies, should be playing a game where they're pinning a picture of an ass on your real photo. In what world is that even sensible? It's crossing all kinds of boundaries, and you're not gonna do this. I don't care what your silly ass thing is cute and all this stuff. It's not cute. And your man would be horrified and feel very disrespected and hurt that you was that stupid that you acquiesced and did something like that. Don't be stupid, okay? Make very clear boundaries between your man and his friends. Y'all ain't buddies, and they don't need to be looking at no pictures of your ass and you posing for them to pin a booty on you and all this old stupid shit here. They're just trying to test to see how stupid you are. I'm glad you had enough sense to write me though, but you're gonna tell them flat out no. And like I said, look up Buffy the Body or Megan the Stallion and let them put out a picture of them because they love to pose with their booty all stuck out. Yeah, bend the dick. That sounds like a good party game. I'm gonna keep that up. I'm gonna remember that shit for the next bridal shower I go to. These dudes are just doing the absolute most. And she up there laughing. I better cuss them out. Question number 9, male, 35 to 41. He's black out of Los Angeles. I have a daughter who I co-parent with my ex. We have a good relationship after many years of struggle. I'm very involved in my daughter's life 4 days a week. I'm 37 now and finding it very difficult to date at my age. The best connections I've had are with women my age that don't have but want children of their own. I'm very open to expanding my family, but I feel I need to be cautious. I wouldn't be comfortable having a child with someone until a few years into the relationship. And I'm worried that if a relationship ends, I may just have wasted their time and opportunity to have children. Simultaneously, I recognize that most people, men and women, are not interested in having children in a relatively new relationship, and men in that group may not be as certain about their ability and willingness to be fathers as I am. However, this conversation still needs to end things by default. It feels wrong to avoid relationship with women in this situation, but I don't know how to handle it early on. How would you want to be treated? I'm not thinking about shit about nobody's nappy headed kid. So you asking the wrong person. Maybe some of them might have an answer about that, but I'm gonna just tell you this from a logical perspective. You're 37, so the women that you're gonna be dating are say in the 30 to probably 35 age range. um, they're looking at, they don't have no whole bunch of years for you to waste your time talking about, I wouldn't want to have a kid until I'm several years into the relationship. Yo, 37, almost 40 years, you don't have that luxury. You're going to be one of them 50-year-old daddies. You sound stupid right now. Get over yourself. You haven't been around the block enough to know if you dealing with a woman for a year or so, what kind of person she is. If you don't have that ability, then something wrong with you. You're too old for that. You ought to have this down where you can read somebody, listen to their responses, see how they live in, what kind of work they do, what their goals are, their lifestyle, how they love, how they talk to you, what their morals and values are. You should be able to get a real good handle on that in 6 months. Talking about years, your 40-year-old ass don't have years no more. Trying to be somebody's daddy. You end up with kids with a bunch of birth defects and stuff. You know, old sperm causes problems. So you need to figure this out. If you're gonna get with somebody and they want to have a kid and you want to have a kid, then you should be making that happen, making a move to do that in a year. You should not be dragging this out for years and years and years. It shouldn't take that long. Okay. Yeah. All right. Now, um, I hope that answer works for you. Let me see here. Hold on a second. Shay, are you on YouTube so you can go and block that individual? I'm on the StreamYard site and I can't do it. I can't do it from here. Anyway, let's move on to question number 10. Female, 28 to 34, black, out of the UK. Male, 28 to 34, European descent. Okay. Hi, Deb. I am a single black woman and I live alone. I bought myself a dream house and have a successful career. My next door neighbor is a white male who is unemployed. I moved in a few months ago and realized he is very hostile. So I've kept my distance. I work in the day, come home in the afternoon, and mind my own business. My neighbor knows there's no male presence around me, and so I'm an easy target. He goes out of his way to harass me. However, his actions are very subtle. I cannot report it yet. For example, he often parks in front of my private driveway, blocking me in. He constantly walks over my lawn, has put bricks on the pathway to get to my front door. He watches me whenever I leave the house. He peers over the fence at me in my backyard at night. His friends hang around outside my door drinking and smoking. They make loud noises and give intimidating looks and laughter when I'm walking past. I have heard one say, "Here comes that black lady." All of this is affecting my mental health. I feel so uncomfortable leaving the house and opening my windows and curtains. I don't feel safe. I can't afford to sell and buy another house so soon. He is a large, muscly guy who's constantly in a large group, and I cannot confront him. I don't have any male friends I could call either. My mom and dad do not visit me as they say I live too far and to just ignore it. What can I do? When he blocks your driveway to where you cannot go, you call a tow truck and you have to remove his vehicle. Every time he does it, you have this be a car towed. That's what you do. I don't know how you guys do. You have to call the police first. I mean, whatever the process is for where you live. That's what you do, so that he gets tickets or he gets his shit towed. Since he's unemployed, he won't be without a car. Get yourself a dog, a big ferocious dog. Make sure your dog is trained. Don't just get some wild beast that you can't control. You want a guard dog that is trained. That dog is going to stay in the house with you. That dog will be there during the day watching the property. That's what you're going to do. You're going to go and you're going to install an alarm system, a security system. You're going to have it so that there's cameras facing the yard, the front door, and the side of the house if there's windows and stuff over there. That's what you're going to do. Okay, so that at least when you go in and out of your house, you have some protection. I don't know what they allow as far as weaponry, stun guns. I mean, I don't know what you can get there, but whatever it is, do some investigation to make sure you have it. When you walk around with it, like going to and fro, you don't have it in your purse. You have to say, "Oh, wait, let me dig it out." You get it out and you have it in your pocket and you have it armed and ready with your hand on it. So if they should get so wild that they want to jump in your face and do something, you tap them. You go into the neck right here, into the throat, at the heart, and you tap him with the stun gun, and he gonna fall right out. Might croak. That's a good day too. But depending on his health condition. But whatever it is, you make sure it's legal, and you're gonna start calling the police and getting this stuff documented, because this is harassment, and by them focusing on the fact that you're black makes it have a racial component, which is against the law everywhere. So you have to stop running scared, and you have to be more proactive. So start by going to shopping for a dog. It's going to cost you a good quality dog. It's going to cost you some money. You're going to install that alarm system, and you're going to start calling the police. Every time he blocks your car where you can't go where you're trying to go because he parked his car there, you're going to have his car towed. You're only going to have to do that once or twice, and he'll get the message that you ain't the one. Right now, they're bullying you because you're running scared. You're acting all afraid. Get weapon up and get yourself prepared for battle. This is your dream house. You're not going to give it up. The other thing you could do too is, because he's there and he's unemployed, he might be a renter. He might not own it. So look into the property records and see who does own the house. If it's not him and it's some kind of real estate company, investment company, or something like that, let them know what he's up to. That you just bought this house, and let them know what he's doing, and they can keep an eye on him. And if necessary, they can evict him too. So there's just 4 good ways for you to get him in check. So start tomorrow. Start looking for what you're gonna do. You walk around with a vicious dog and take the dog for walks and stuff, he'll leave you alone, fucker. Now you're not gonna run. You're not gonna buy no house. You're gonna dig in and do battle. That's what you're gonna do. Question number 11, female, 22 to 27, from Ontario, Canada. The male in question is also 22 to 27. I'm 24 and I've been seeing a guy who's 27 for 4 months. We have had multiple conversations about what we want and whether we want to be exclusive, etc. We had another check-in about where we are at last week. He has had plenty of opportunity to opt out, but he said he wants to be exclusive with me and to explore things together. I spent this past weekend with him and his family at his house where he grew up. The next day, I found out that he's on Tinder. We met on Tinder 4 months ago, and now his profile is completely different with a new bio and very recent photos. I immediately called him and recited his new Tinder bio to him. He seemed to panic and started trying to make excuses. Said he didn't meet anyone on there and was just effing around, blah, blah, blah. I was so angry I hung up on him. I tried to call him back multiple times later because I had more questions. I was so hurt. He never picked up, and now I haven't heard anything from him since that call. I don't understand. Why be telling me he wants to be exclusive and choosing to stay and spend time with me and invite me to come spend time with him and his family, just to be doing that behind my back, and then not to even have the decency to pick up my calls after? I'm unbelievably hurt and shocked. I really never expected this from him. Why not? Why do you think he's so special and unique after only 4 months that you shouldn't expect this from him? Let me tell you something. A man talking about, I want to be exclusive and all that stuff. What's he doing to prove that? What's he doing to prove that on a day-to-day basis? Yeah, he took you to meet his family. That is a game like a lot of families do that. They take everybody to meet the family because they know that women in women's minds, they think that that means something. They think if I meet the family, he must be thinking seriously about me. So the amount of stuff that you're more willing to give him and do for him increases because in your mind, this is a link to a future. He ain't said that though. He ain't said it, but it's a game, and the families are very often in on it. So you cannot put stock in anything just because some guy introduced you to his raggedy ass relatives. They might just be running game and be just as trifling as he is. You just never know about these things. So I never put too much stock in what people say. You watch what they do, okay? And in this case, he's saying that he wants to be permanent and all, serious and all stuff. But he's putting up a new profile on Tinder. So what does that tell you? That he was lying. He wanted you to be on lockdown. He don't want you to be seeing other people, but he's keeping that option open for himself. That's what that means. So, you want to call him 55 times and talk about it over and over. There's nothing to talk about. He has a profile. He's still looking for new booty. You found that out now. So why are you still calling him? Once you hung up on him. That meant the relationship was over. That's what that meant. There's no further conversation to have. There's no compromise on this. He's doing what he's doing to do on Tinder, and you sitting up there fantasizing about something else. Is what you're talking about is not going to happen. So there's nothing to talk about. There's no compromise to be had here. There's no negotiation. There's no working this out. You want a boyfriend that's serious, and he wants to fuck around. Okay? Now you know what time it is. We act accordingly. Live your life accordingly. Well, people want, ladies be wanting this closure thing. I want closure. You got closure the second that you hung up that phone after you read him his profile. That was your closure right there. I don't know what it is you think he's gonna say that's any different. He was just playing around and stuff like, yeah, right. Sure you were. Show you right. Question number 12. This is a female in the 35 to 41 age group from Richmond, Virginia. The male is 35 to 41 as well. My boyfriend is always on the go, and he expects me to be as well. It's making me miserable, Deb. Oh my God, my brother is like that. It's gotten to where we both think that the other person is the problem. He thinks I'm lazy. I think he has unreasonable expectations. For one, I really don't think I'm lazy. I may not have as much energy as he does, but we share chores and responsibilities around the house equally. If anything, I do more than him, but it's generally pretty fair. I just want to relax sometimes. I can't relax while he's around because I think I have to look busy. It's really starting to get me down. He was away for a while and it was such a relief, but I still did a bunch of extra gardening and cleaning and other chores, so he'd be happy when he came back. Not that he even really noticed. Just now I finished watering the garden after work and I was going through my email and stopped for a moment to look at my phone and he was like, "What are you doing?" And then 10 minutes later he came back in and gave me a chore to do because clearly he thought whatever I was doing was not that important. Oh, really? I hate it. I told him this, but it seems to continually be a problem for us both. I think we can get past this. Everything else is great. And I think we both like it to work. Ugh, there's my rant. Any advice? There's a lot of info I left out because we probably have to write a book due to how complicated our situation is. I think his need for us both to be busy all the time stems from some kind of anxiety. Nevertheless, I don't want to live like this. I'm going to make it clear that if he puts this kind of pressure on me ongoing, then I'm out. I suspect this problem won't go away easily, so I'm willing to work on it, but there's nothing to work on. He's in the 35 to 41 age group. So how did you say how old he is exactly in that? Okay, you both of y'all in the 35 to 41 age group. You old. You are what you are. It is what it is. This is his life. This is what he does. Now, the first thing that got me is he thinks you lazy, and it's like, you think I'm lazy? Let me show you lazy. And I wouldn't do shit. I would sit on my ass. I would order takeout. I would leave cartons of stuff all over the place. This would be a hot mess. It would be a mess. And say, this is what it looks like when I don't do anything. This is what it looks like. And I would do that for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days until I couldn't stand the smell. But I would leave. But most likely, since he liked to be so busy, he would have cleaned it up by then anyway. That's how you show a motherfucker what nothing is. You really do nothing. You don't wash nothing. You don't clean nothing. You don't cook nothing. You don't shop for nothing. You don't do anything. If the plants die, oh well. Should have watered them. we're not playing that. We're not going to do that. Then he going to come and give you a chore. What did you do about that? You should have cussed him out. So you don't give me shit. I'm not your kid. I do what the fuck I want to do. And right now I'm doing what I want to do, which is nothing. I'm checking my email or whatever you said you was doing. That's enough. Get out of my face. If you want something done, then you do it yourself. That's what he would have gone from me. But you're doing too much. Did you say how long y'all been in this relationship? You don't even say how long it is, but y'all living together and all this stuff here, and you've been dealing with this bullshit. He wouldn't have got away with this for one day. Trying to tell me what to do. I'm talking about you're lazy. It's like, no, you just some kind of manic depressive idiot that always want to be doing something. I had a boyfriend like this. Okay, we have completely different ideas of vacation. My idea of vacation is being a leisurely place because I go for work and stuff. I'm always doing projects and all stuff. And so I don't like run the streets and stuff anymore, but I'm still busy doing what I'm trying to do. And so we were going to go on this trip, right? This boy, he want to go and book all these like excursions and all stuff. And I'm like, I'm not trying to do all that. It's too much work. Going on the boat, off the boat, on the boat, off the boat. Going on these mini buses and riding. It was just too much. It was exhausting. It sounded exhausting just hearing about it. But he was all gung ho and stuff. I said, well, you're going to go for yourself because I'm not going. And I didn't go. And he thought that was the worst vacation. And I thought it was the best because I stayed on the boat on one of them little lawn chair things. Or I got off the boat and I went by the beach on one of them little lawn chair things and had drinks and then got back on my little lawn chair thing, took a nap on my lawn chair thing, got back on the boat, or we decided to go down to the cabin or, go get lunch they have pool, deck side lunch buffets and stuff like that, and went back to my little bench, my little thing on the pool side, and just, it was chill. And I loved it. But he thought that was just the worst. So we never went nowhere again and we broke up. I'm like, you're not pressing me. So I understand exactly what you're talking about, but this is not sustainable. The fact that you put up with it as long as you did is ridiculous. Okay? Make it very clear to him that this is not a lifestyle that you agree with, and obviously you two are totally incompatible as far as that your values go, and that it's not going to work. No matter what else there is, great. You would feel crazy in a relationship like this, like you already do. Let's move on. Question number 13. This is a young man, 22 to 27 age group from Illinois. He's African American and he's an Aries. I'm dealing with a growing concern in my dating life, and this is it. I'm a black man who's only ever dated black women, but now I live in a majority white area after spending the majority of my life in the southern United States where there is a denser black population. To add some context, I'll give you some background. I'm 22. Oh, you a baby. And I haven't been in a serious relationship to this point, although not for lack of trying. When I was growing up, my main concerns were doing well in school and setting myself up to get a good job in the field that I wanted. When I was in college, I was a bit of a late bloomer. I started putting things together around my junior year, and that's when I started dating girls around my age. I've never had a non-black woman show romantic interest in me at any time of my life, and all I saw growing up in my family were black couples, a black man married to a black woman. As a result, interracial dating was never really something that I saw as a kid, and it wasn't a possibility that looked available to me given what I just mentioned earlier. I went to college in the South. I saw other people dating interracially, and I have no problem with it, but I just personally have never been seriously interested, but I've only ever been seriously interested in black women. Fast forward to now, I moved up north in April for my job here. I've used some dating apps to meet women. I've gone a couple of days, but nothing has come of it. I decided to get off of dating apps and try my luck in real life while still devoting the vast majority of my energy and effort towards my main priorities, which are my job and making sure my finances and expenses are in a good place. You doing what you're supposed to be doing. I applaud you. So many young men your age are not even trying to do what you're doing. So good job. I know your parents are very proud of you. My issue now is that when I look around, I'm mainly surrounded by non-black people regardless of gender. I walk around and I see that the overwhelming majority of the women in my area are white, Latina, or some kind of Asian descent, whether it's Western Asia or the Indian subcontinent. I don't dislike non-black women. It's just that I've never seriously entertained the idea of being in a romantic relationship with one. Growing up, my friends were black, and so these are the people that I always hung out with and related to. I'm wondering how to work through this because, truthfully, I'd really like to find a black woman to develop a healthy long-term relationship with. I'm just worried that my location may not be the best for me to realize that. My brother, you are from the South. That means your little ass grew up in the church. Find where the black churches are in your area, even if you got to ride a little bit to go somewhere, a little 20, 30 miles away. You find where the big black church is in your area, and you carry, as they say in the South, carry your little ass to that church. And you go in there and you look around and you see what you see. Even if you don't see something that you like, by the time you get to talking to them church mothers, they're going to have a granddaughter that they think would be perfect for you. Bam! There you go. Okay? They're going to be having all kind of things you can volunteer at and stuff. It's going to be mainly, older women. But like I said, they have relatives. They have granddaughters. They have nieces. They have little cousins. That's what you want. You want to hook up. The intro. And you're going to go in there with your together little self and your good home training and your, working on your goals and stuff. And you're going to be like a rainbow, a stunning, like, star in the light of darkness in their lives. And they're going to all be trying to get you to hook up with their daughters. And you're going to be having more women coming at you than you even know what to do with. Some of them may even be a few years older than you. I mean, I don't know if you want to date, older or not, but I'm telling you, that's how you're going to do this. So you're going to start by looking for where the black church is in your area. I don't care if you have to drive 20, 30 minutes to get there, just where you're going to go. Okay? You're going to pop up. You're going to talk, introduce yourself to the pastor. You're going to say, I'm new to the area. Can I join this service? And they're going to say, oh, yes, my son. And that's what you're going to do. Okay? And you will have all the dates you need in short order. Might even get you a wife out the deal. You can thank me later. Question number 14, female 20 to 34, Sagittarius, black, from Irving, Texas. The other party, 28 to 34, also a Virgo. My husband met this woman and she was searching for a mentor for her two boys for football and tutoring. I met her and felt she was trying to use this tactic to get to my husband. They were secretly talking to each other without my knowledge. I confronted her and she didn't want to have anything to do with him and doesn't mix business with pleasure. She blocked me for no apparent reason, but not my husband. What you mean no apparent reason? She blocked you because you came at her stupid. That's what she blocked you for. Ain't nobody trying to be bothered with you like this. I can already tell you just have an ignorant side. I had other friends say stay on her ass. See, she was training with my husband behind my back. What, are you his keeper or something? He's like a dog in a choke chain. She told me that we were separated, she told me that he said that we were separated, yet that's not her business. It's her business if he told it to her. That don't mean she asked him, that just means that that's what he said. Okay? You trying to put all the blame on her. Who told him to tell that lie? That lie came from his mouth. Why you not jamming him up? You trying to say, well, that's not her business. No, it was her business because he made it her business by telling her that. I caught her giving her OnlyFans link to him because he asked for it and he ended up paying for her subscription. Then she created a fake profile and was sending threats to my husband. Okay, this is just going into just like, you know. Oh. But my question is, why are my friends and family mad at me for staying when she didn't want to stay away from my husband, inboxing me constantly with unsolicited advice? They need to go after her for ruining our marriage. I told him to block her, however, I found out that he didn't. It's still her fault and responsibility because she broke the girl code. Just trifling and pitiful. No, the one who's trifling and pitiful here is you. You haven't realized if your man asked her for her only page plan, your man lied to her and said that y'all were separated. Your man went and was all up in her face all the time. This your man was doing the chasing, dear. I don't understand why you're not seeing that and accepting that reality. I told y'all when I was down in Texas, the women in Texas are crazy about men. They just crazy. There's just no logic, rhyme, or reason to it. Just, just insane about ownership of a man. My thing is, did he forget he was married? Did he forget? Sound like he forgot. Maybe you should have reminded him instead of going after her. That's why you got blocked, and that's why your relatives are clowning you because they realize there's something wrong with you. Your logic, your brain, your IQ level, something is happening here that's not real kosher. I don't know what to tell you about this, but I'm done with this letter. So you need to see a psychiatrist because you kind of talking cuckoo. Question number 15, female, 22 to 27, Latina, from Taos, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, New Mexico. So I met this guy over the weekend and we vibed pretty well. I had just come from the bar with my friend back to her apartment and we decided to go to her place lobby to play pool and ping pong. So this is where I met this guy. Anyways, we were talking and he told me he's a sophomore in college, which is way too young for me. I'm not even in college anymore. I told him that he's young, and I don't remember his response, but when I was about to leave, he asked me for my number. I asked him again how old he was, and he said he was 21, which seems suspicious because you don't typically turn 21 in sophomore year. And he knew my age and that I thought he was young, so if he really wanted my number, lying would probably have been his only way to get it. Anyway, I decided to give him the benefit of the doubt and believe him. We've been texting over the past few days, and he wants to take me on a date this week. My friends told me to suggest a place for me to get ID'd, so I suggested a restaurant, which he agreed to. Then I straight up asked him again if he was 21 because this restaurant ID's at the door. What you tell him for? And you lay in a trap. You don't tell the person, oh, I put a trap in place to see if you stupid. Okay, here we go next. Oh, Lord. He evaded the age question and said that he doesn't have an ID and we'd have to bring his passport, which he doesn't like carrying around. He said that he'll pick somewhere else. Him not having an ID makes sense, I guess, because he is not a U.S. citizen. But now we cannot go anywhere that IDs, and there's no way to confirm whether he's actually 21 or not. What's worse is that he suggested he has tequila at his place. Oh, I bet he did. Obviously, I'm not going home with him. But if you are of drinking age, wouldn't you just go out for drinks instead of bringing someone back to your place to drink? Dad, my first instinct is to cancel this date, but I don't know if I should just go and scope out the situation in case he's actually telling the truth. He did seem like a good guy and we got along pretty well. Advice would be appreciated. Okay, are you thirsty, desperate, lonely? What's going on here? I've told you women 55 million times. Whatever your first assessment is, your red flags, warning, the spidey senses are tingling. The bells are ringing that there's something wrong with this picture. But instead of you listening to it, you shoot that down and you move forward anyway. You press, oh, I decided to believe him. Why did you decide to believe him when you know he's lying? Why did you do that? He's a kid trying to come up on some older woman's coochie. That's what he's trying to do. And but he's not trying to go out. He's trying to get you to play his place and get you drunk. And then, move from the couch to the bedroom. That's what he's trying to do. You know this, but you're still going along with it, playing this silly game. You're not going to go on this date. You're going to call him back or text him back or however y'all communicate and say, I decided I'm not going to go. And when I hang up, after you get this message, I'm going to block you. So don't even try to contact me again. That's what you're going to do. And in the future, when you meet a man and something seems off, you start questioning him. There's something about him that his story ain't matching up. The math ain't mathing. Then you don't give him your number. You don't tell him anything about you, like your last name, and you don't try to go out with him. You messed up all around. What you did, if he was a dangerous type of dude, which he might be, we don't know what he's trying to get you to his house for. You would be setting yourself to be victimized by being silly and not listening to yourself. Don't, everybody listening to this, do not do what she did here. You meet a man and the shit that he's telling you is not matching up. It's raggedy, it's questionable, it's doubtful. You looking at him with the side eye. You don't believe what he's saying. Something is ringing wrong. Cancel any and all involvement with that man on the spot. You don't give him a way to contact you. You don't tell him where you live, and you don't agree to go out with him. You don't even tell him your real name if you can get away with it. I always had a club name, a party name. So that, unless I really knew somebody, and we might be going out for a month. And then I would find somebody would say, oh, Deb, something. He's like, who's Deb? Oh, that's me. Well, you can tell me your name was so-and-so. And then I would tell them why I did that. And most of them would be okay with it. And whoever wasn't, well, you look just as good leaving as you did coming. So bye. I don't care. She's not a cougar. She don't want to be a cougar. He's trying to lie and say that he's, her age. Did you miss that part? She's not a cougar. You're signing the wrong thing here. She's not trying to be that. She doesn't want to go out with somebody who's younger. That's why he lied about his age. You missed that part? So yeah, but this is silly here. If you keep doing this kind of stuff or you poo-poo what your inner voice is telling you, you're gonna get yourself into a situation that's not gonna end well for you. Stop doing this. Stop it. Question number 15, female, 22 to 27. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the one I just did. Why did I pick that back up? Question number 16, male, 28 to 34, from Montgomery, Alabama. He's African American. For the first time in my life, I was stood up on a date. Ooh, I can't help but feel bad about it, and I need some words of support from you and the ladies. I was looking forward to a date with this young lady, and I waited for an hour at the spot we were supposed to meet. I was told by her ahead of time that she was running a little late, but I didn't expect to wait that long, so I ended up leaving. Really didn't expect to be stood up as I've never had this problem before when I've been dating. So why do people say yes to dates just to stand other people up? Did I do something wrong? No, I can't say if she agreed to meet you. I don't think you did anything wrong. But what you have to understand is sometimes, especially in this internet dating stuff, people lie about who they are, their height, their weight, their age. They might have a fake picture up. So if you haven't like FaceTimed with them and all that kind of stuff, so you can see what they really look like, it's very easy for this to happen. And what generally happens is the part of making it seem like they have a relationship is very exciting to them. They're all down with it. But when it comes time to actually meet, they back out. They back out. So most likely it was something like that. She knew you would be disappointed that she wasn't who she presented herself to be. Older, younger, fatter, most likely. You know, maybe she put an old picture. I mean, it's just hard to say what exactly, but that's why they do this kind of stuff. It's exciting for them even to, she might even got dressed up and stuff, and then looked in the mirror and realized this ain't gonna fly. He might run off screaming, and so she just didn't show up. So don't blame yourself. Don't feel bad about it. Just think about it in terms of, her ruse would have been uncovered, and so rather than deal with the fallout of your anger at being catfished and tricked, she just dipped out. Okay, so just chalk it up to that and keep it moving. Don't take it personally because it's nothing to do with you. This is all about her. Okay. Question number 17, female, 22 to 27, mixed race, from Alameda, California. The male in question, same age group, and he's black. Okay. My boyfriend suggested we party, quote, party, with me, him, and my female cousin, maybe. Yeah, you know what that is. And don't type it. Don't type it. But you know what they're talking about. It involves. This happened a month ago, but it's still bothering me. Even when he's nice and we're having a good time, my mind quickly goes back to that day, and I start to feel rage and resentment. I feel like I'm the best girlfriend to him and so sweet. I just feel so let down and disappointed. I've been very distant, and I can see that he's starting to notice. He thinks I'm cheating, but I'm really very heartbroken. I'm trying to escape my emotions. What should I do to get over my feelings? You should not get over your emotions. What you should do is get rid of him. You don't realize, see, and young girls, I mean, this is the problem, with you being so young. You don't have the life experience yet to understand what this kind of stuff means. When a man starts asking you to do that weird kind of freak shit, he's not looking at you as a human being. He's not looking at you as emotional. He's not looking at you as someone that he loves and cares about and wants to protect. He's looking at you as a tool to use for his freaky proclivities. That's what he's doing. You are merely a vehicle for him to get this fantasy he has running in his head to become a reality. You're being used. It's not you. It could be anybody. But you happen to be the one who's there, who has feelings for him, and which makes him feel like he has, you can easily, what's the word I'm looking for? Manipulate you into doing what he wants because you care about him. You love him. So what I'm going to say is for you to go back to him and say, what you said that other day, that whatever it was, what you said that was like a month or two ago, that's still bothering me, and it's to the point where I hate you. I hate you for even presenting that to me. I hate you for thinking that you have the right to violate me and our relationship like that. I expel it out, spill it. Tell him everything that you hate. Why you're so mad, just let it out. Don't hold back. Rip him up one side and down the other. And then you say, you have demonstrated yourself to be the type of person that I don't want to be with. Our morals and values are so in completely different book, not even on the same page. We're in different books. So what we're going to do right now is break up. I don't want you to call me again. I don't want to see you again. I want you to lose my number. And as soon as we finish this conversation, I'm blocking you. And just please, just forget that you've ever seen my face. That's what you're going to do. Okay? These papers are all falling down. That's what you're going to do. Okay? Because this is crazy. This makes no sense at all that you would subject yourself to this just to have a relationship. I don't understand why you, what am I trying to do? I don't understand why you are still trying to hang on to him and hang on to this relationship. It's dead to me, and it should be dead to you. You don't let people treat you like this, girlfriend. Hold on a second here. Hold on. Okay. There we go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is sad. This happens to so many young girls though. And the sad parts are the ones who go along with it. And then they find themselves like crushed. Their whole sense of self. It's just, I mean, you're suffering enough from it and you haven't even done it. The ones that do it, then the guy, sometimes, when he'll call them horrible names and, you just a this and you just a nasty that. Look at what you do. What you do, all kind of stupid shit. You don't love me. And so they flip it around. So it's your fault. Don't fall into the trap. I'm telling you, it's just a slippery slope to hell. Get out now before you compromise your morals and values to keep a man. You think it's going to keep him, but he's really just going to think, oh, she's a stupid, desperate bitch, and she'll do anything for me. The next thing you know, he's going to have you on the whole stroll. Since you would do that, well, it's just one next step up, right? So get rid of this clown. He's a disrespectful little punk, and you don't need somebody like this in your life. Question number 18, female, 22 to 27. She's African American, a Scorpio from Oakland, California. Hi, Deb. I'm struggling to understand something about my dynamic with my mother. I'm 24. My brother's over 30. I've been experiencing resentment of something I've recently noticed. I see my mother every year help my brother step by step to file his taxes. When I first had to file mine, I had to learn on my own. But she walks him through it step by step. When I planned on moving out, she was upset, negative, and tried multiple ways to sabotage my plans. And she knows I have been looking for an affordable place. Every time I express it, she says something negative. However, she came across some new apartments being built and came straight home to tell my brother about it, bought him an application, helped him fill it out and everything. Well, I have been researching and left to do this all on my own. To be clear, I don't mind doing it myself, but I don't understand how come when I try to accomplish more for myself, it's overlooked or even shut down. But he does the bare minimum and gets praised and help to do basic things. I wash my own clothes, wash and clean after myself. He doesn't do anything. If I make a simple mistake, I get called dumb and other names. When he does stupid things, she will gently correct him and help him. It's not fair. Like I said, I don't mind doing these things on my own because I'm used to it now, but it still hurts my feelings. Because I wonder sometimes, does she even like me? Should I just suck it up and get over it? Or should I confront her about how I feel? Well, okay, if you confront her, just let's run through this real quick. You get in your mama's face and say, oh, well, you always help my brother and you don't ever help me. And she's going to say, so? Then what you going to do? It's not worth it to confront her, especially while you still need to live there. As far as your taxes, they have places of professional people that volunteer to do taxes for free. It runs through the county of Alameda every year. Just reach out to social services and they will tell you where the places are. You make your appointment. You take all your little shit over there. They do it right there, or either they'll do it right there on the spot if it's simple, or they'll take it and they'll tell you when to come back and pick it up. You're going to pick it up and it's done. You don't need your mother to do it, but there can still be people to do it for you. I never do mine. My sister does mine. She's the accountant. You think I want to be struggling with all that shit? Please. I'd be like, here's my box with all my shit in it. And she'd be like, okay. And I'm the place, well, I did your stuff. I'm going to mail it to you. Okay. And that's it. It takes a special person to be able to do their own taxes. I'm not built from that cloth. Can't do it. I don't have the patience. Now, as far as you moving out, there's an organization in Oakland called Eden Housing. They specialize in finding housing for low income people. It's pretty stiff competition. You know, they take Section 8 and stuff like that, which are the major, people that use it. But it's worth a shot. So you find out, go contact Eden Housing, ask for the list or some recommendations for wherever the areas you're trying to do. You find you someplace, $1,400, $1,500 a month or something. Maybe smaller if it's less if it's a smaller place. You're just gonna be by yourself, what you need a whole bunch of people for. So, a whole bunch of space for. So, you can get a studio apartment, and you just want to be outside, on your own. And so you do that, okay? At least from you being from Oakland, I know some resources in this area. And you can also call 211, and they have references and stuff for housing and assistance and all kind of stuff. They can be a great resource for you as well. So that's what you're gonna do, and you're gonna stop worrying about your mother and stop focusing on your brother and wasting energy and time worrying about something that you can't change. That's fixed in stone. That is what it is. Okay, you don't worry about them. You worry about yourself. Question number 19, female, 22 to 27, Asian, out of New York. I'm getting married in the spring, and I am in the process of getting everything together. I asked 7 of my friends to be my bridesmaids, and thankfully they all agreed. One of my bridesmaids, however, is not really in my core group of friends, and although she's a close friend of mine from a previous workplace and helped me through a lot, she won't really know anyone at the wedding aside from me, and I won't be able to provide her much company during the wedding and reception, of course. And a couple of my other bridesmaids, and even with those two, she is only casually friends with them since she isn't part of my core friend group. Okay, you already said that. She asked me if she could bring a partner slash situationship guy that cheated on her many times, yet she still insists they're on the road to marriage to the wedding. Although I'm happy to have her bring a plus one so she feels more comfortable, I absolutely despise the guy she wants to bring. Here are some things he has done. Number one, ignore me when my friend first introduced me and another friend to him just so he can hit on my friend who was made to feel incredibly uncomfortable because he was being so persistent despite her constant rejection and attempts to physically get away from in front of his girlfriend who's also looked visibly uncomfortable. Okay, so he's trying to hit on your friend in front of this other girl who she thinks he's her boyfriend. That's what you're telling me? Number two, made some very inappropriate locker room talk types of comments about the physical features of college girls that would be walking by us a couple of times we hung out. This guy is 36 years old and my friend is only 23. Number three, has gotten drunk at inappropriate times and then makes very blatant advances to the women around him. He also takes cleavage and butt shots of random women while he goes out. Okay, so this guy is just a fool. I'm afraid of him making my female friends and honestly even my relatives and other people around us feel uncomfortable. I'm afraid of him going down to the hotel bar and getting a drink and acting inappropriately at my wedding. My family is Muslim and this is a South Asian Muslim cultural event, so that would not fly. I'm also not looking forward to having someone who blatantly treated me badly in the past be at my wedding. What do? You stop being a spineless weenie. You flatly tell her, look, that clown with his disrespectful, predatory ass is not coming nowhere near my wedding or my relatives. If that's a problem for you, then you get out of the wedding now and y'all can go somewhere together. But even if you're in the wedding, he's not coming. And I'm going to have my cousins at the door to make sure he doesn't. If you don't want to be embarrassed, you make sure he knows he's not welcome. Now, you can bring somebody else if you want to, but it better not be him. And that's all you have to say. Yeah, just acting like a big baby. Like, what should I say? You tell her ass no. You tell her he's a freak and a pervert and he makes every woman who gets within his 5 feet of him uncomfortable and that your cousins, your brothers or uncles or whatever, is not going to be having it and they would beat his ass. And you don't want to have your wedding turned because he might say something to the wrong woman, somebody's wife, sister, or girlfriend or something like that, or mother, you know what I mean? Because you just never know. And then he's going to get a beat down and then it would be a big mess for no reason. So just tell her no. You don't want drama. You want your wedding to be a nice event. and that he's not welcome. And then tell her that, like I said, if that's a problem, you're sorry and you would understand why she needs to drop out. Then get somebody else. Send me a ticket, I'll be in it. I always wanted to be in an Indian wedding. But no, get him out of here. Don't even subject yourself to that. Question number 20. Female 22 to 27 out of the UK. Says other characters, brother 32 and older sister 27. 6 months ago, I had a massive fight with my big sister over my life choices. She doesn't like my marriage or my choice to take in our 1-year-old sister. I don't feel the choices I made were wrong, but there are things I said mid-argument that were a bit over the line. She was living with me at the time, and she moved out without a word the next day. Good. I called to apologize, but she blocked me. I sent her an email, and she replied, thanks. We've seen each other twice since then. The first time I tried to talk to her, she told me to F off. The second time I didn't even try, which was just as well, as she told our brother that she was going to just tell me to F off again if I tried talking to her. Having had some time to reflect and some therapy, I have come to the conclusion that my life is better without my sister in it. My siblings, a 38-year-old male, 32-year-old male, 27-year-old female, and me, 17, and 1-year-old female, and I have all have issues, but she's the only sibling who I feel worse after talking to, because when I talk to her, she tends to take digs at my life choices. I'm just not sure what presence to have in her life and vice versa will do at this point to make things better. Our older brother, the 32-year-old one, is getting married before next year. I'm very happy for him and excited to go to his wedding, but this is a novel. How is this letter so long? He's now said that unless I make up with our sister, neither one of us can come. I said I won't be hostile. I just don't want to speak to her. And he said that isn't good enough. We're his sisters. He loves us both and he wants us to have a relationship. Okay. I want to go to my brother's wedding. What is my best route out of this situation? Really, that still lets me go to his wedding. And you don't want to apologize. And you worried about if you apologize that she won't give you apology back. Well, she already said if you apologize, if you even try to talk to her, she's going to say F you. What you could do is write her a letter, write her a note, and make sure your brother sees it. You put it in an envelope, you mail it to her house. Okay, so that's you reaching out trying to apologize. So if she doesn't accept your apology, you need to ask your brother what happens then. Are you supposed to not go because she didn't accept your apology and want to still be a bitch? And if he says, yeah, you have to agree, then you say, well, then fuck you and your wedding and your raggedy ass sister. I don't want to be bothered with none of you motherfuckers. That's what you say. And tell him to eat shit and die, and you hope that he gets a divorce. Now, that's what I would say. Trying to force me to be all up under some bitch. And it's like, I try to talk to her and she don't want to accept it. I still have to suffer repercussions because of what she does. So I'm fucked either way. So why should I be trying to turn over and jump through hoops to be at your fucking wedding? I'm going to keep my money in my pocket. I don't look for no gift. And I'm not coming. And I'm going to save my money on a dress and get my hair done and shit. And I'm going to go somewhere for the weekend. Have myself a good old time. I don't mean to be hilarious. I'm telling you. That's what I would say. Because it's like, you're not going to, no, we're not going to do that. You and your fucked up sister. Go do whatever fucked up people do. Question number 21. This is a male in a 35 to 41 age group from Sydney, Australia. Hi there, Deb. I need your insight into an ongoing issue I'm having. I've been married for 14 years. Woo! And throughout that time, I've had jealousy issues about my wife's previous relationships. I've punished her for many years about what she did before she met me. Objectively, I know that's so wrong and stupid. It's just the past. It shouldn't matter, but I couldn't help myself, especially after consuming alcohol. I realize this comes from my low self-esteem and insecurities, but it's now to the point that she's moved out and needs space from me. It's become too much for her. She says she's lost who she is because of me. The weight of what I've done to her is unbearable. It's crippling me. To think of the pain and torment I put her through is almost too much to take. I love her so deeply. How could I do this to the person I love so much? That's a good question. How could you? She wants me to get help, and I will. But the fear of losing her is taking over me. Please, any help would be much appreciated. There's no help. I can't give you no help in Sydney, Australia for you being stupid. You've been stupid for 14 years. What you think I'm going to do in one letter? You, sir, have to understand one thing. You chose to do these things. You have to think, well, how should I do? How could I have done this? You know, just like it was something that fell from the sky on you, and you didn't have no choice in the matter. You decided to do these things. You felt good doing these things, so you kept doing it. Now, what if you decide that you wanted to sabotage your marriage, you wanted to hurt your wife, you wanted to guilt trip her, you wanted to beat her over the head with some bullshit that happened before you even met her, and you wanted everything to end up the way it is right now. Once you accept that and be accountable for the choices that you made, the decisions you made, and the words that you spewed forth towards this woman that you claim to love, then you can start on your path to doing better. But right now, you still in denial. You still trying to act like it was some third party Martian or something came down from the earth and put them words in your mouth and made you act like that. And now you just now realizing how stupid it was. I don't know what to say to you. I don't know that he's a narc. He's just stupid. You know, these men, when you get the dude who's so insecure that, you know, they think about what you did with some other man and they compare themselves to that. So he's always imagined that dude was packing more than him, you know, put it down better than him, had you hitting high notes that he don't have you hitting, that you know, I mean, that's how they think. That's what he's going on in his mind. So he's painted this whole scenario where he's less and this other guy's more, and he's jealous of a fantasy that he created in his head. Obviously, if he was the other dude was so fabulous, she would have married him versus you, right? But she married you, and yet that's still not good enough. So as nothing, you know, short of you getting yourself immediately onto somebody's couch and get as many sessions a week as you can, so you can do this at a fast pace and get yourself together. Nobody should be this stupid at your 35 to 41-year-old age group. Question 22, female 20 to 34 from London. I've been engaged to my partner for 2.5 years and together for 5 in total. We have been living together for 4 years. He is 34 and I am 32. When we started, oh God, another long ass letter. Started trying to wedding plan after our engagement, he began to try to slow things down. He pointed to his student debt as one reason not to rush and suggested we wait until post-pandemic before booking anything. This seemed to be sensible, so I agreed at the time. But since then, the goalposts keep moving. First it was let's do something in 2021, then 2022. I had bridesmaids in mind. There were venue quotes. I had a wedding dress. He knew all this. Then he revealed that he didn't want to get married at all. I knew that was coming. He wanted to be with me forever. He was deeply committed to me. He just had an issue with marriage. And although we talked about marriage several times before getting engaged, always instigated by him, he didn't realize how negatively he'd feel about it in reality. He said he doesn't like the institution, the pomp and ceremony being the center of attention, etc. But even an elopement wouldn't be okay with him. We got engaged because he didn't want us to break up. Yeah, you got what I call a shut up ring. For me, marriage is important. It's a core value to me in having lots of meaningless boyfriends. I wanted to make a commitment to someone in a way I never had before. But I love him and I wanted to find a compromise. Every time I've tried to broach the subject since, I've been shut down. I wait patiently for a few months to ask him how he's feeling, what he thinks about what we do, and he never has an answer. Now we just end up fighting. It's come to a boiling point because I went on holiday and we did a couple's photo shoot. The photos were gorgeous and I thought it was a really fun experience. But afterwards, he said he hated it. He hated the photos, was afraid I would show them to people and that they would think we were married. So I wasn't allowed to show them to anyone. Girl, you're supposed to take a picture of it with your phone and then send it to everybody in the world to post it on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter and every other social media page, along with every forum that you can find on Reddit and everywhere. You're supposed to put it everywhere and say, look, this motherfucker don't want to get married to me, and this is the pictures that we took. Aren't we cute, though? This is the last cute picture of him because we about to break up. That's what you do. You don't let nobody tell you what to do. I'd be like, yeah, okay, I won't post these pictures, but I'm going to post something. But I would tell him that they would just magically appear like, oh, wow, how did that happen? How the hell did that happen? I didn't do it. Now I can't look at the photos. Girl, you just weak. I'm worried that he has no intention of compromising. I'm making a fundamental compromise, agreeing to take marriage off the table. I've been in this limbo for nearly 3 years. I don't think I can take it much longer as resentment and sadness continues to build. What should I do? You should grow a fucking spine. You should grow a spine. Once he told you that he didn't want to get married ever, and you sat right here in this letter and said how marriage is a core value to you, you don't compromise core values. core values means they're at the core. So the fact that you call it a core value, but then you want to talk about compromise, you're acting desperate, thirsty, and just ridiculous. Like you have no boundaries and no passion and no determination, and anything that you say is a boundary, I mean, it is a value, is really not that way at all. It's just a vague idea of what you want. So if it's really your core value, this man is flat. He told you he's never gonna make that happen. You give him his little fucked up ring back, and you find an apartment, you get the movers, and you move all your stuff out, and then you be like, bye, motherfucker, and then you go and you find somebody else and you get married to them. What you're doing right now, you wasted 4 years of your life on this man. Don't make it 5. Get out now. You're just gonna sit there. There's no compromise on marriage. You're either married or you're not. There's no compromise there. Just like babies, you're either pregnant or you're not. There's no middle ground here. Okay, you've already done the live with them thing. Where did that get you? To get you married? No, and it never will, because he don't want to get married. That's why he wants to live with you. So I say women who live with men are stupid. If you want to get married, that is, and you live with them, you're a dummy. Now, if you don't care, like a lot of retirees live together because it's cheaper and they're on a fixed income, and they don't care about getting married. They already been there and done that. Well, that's different. But all you young people who want to get married and you go moving your shit in with this man that you think you're going to marry, and then you be shocked and appalled and sitting there with your face all bent up and with the Pikachu face, like, oh, when he says he don't want to get married or he keeps stalling, you did that to yourself by moving in. You could have been dating somebody else and been married by now with 2.5 children. Instead, you still over there looking at him, begging him to marry you. Question 23, female 20 to 34 from Dover, Delaware. Hello, I'm new here, but I have enjoyed the live streams I watch very much. This is my issue. There's a woman I have befriended over the course of a few years. I don't know her that well, but she's nice and a mutual friend of other friends of mine. She's single and gorgeous, and she has this energy about her that men, including and women, love. She is close to my age, but doesn't look it at all. She is one of those rare types that never seems to age. Most often, we get together with our female friends for events, and I'm good with that. In conversation with me, she often asks about my husband, and she seems to admire us as a couple in our photos on social media quite a lot. She has recently invited me and my husband to an event at her house. I'm trepidatious about bringing my husband because my gut tells me she's interested in him. Now, I typically don't worry about this kind of stuff with him. We go out with friends often, and I never feel jealous. He knows most of my friends, and he's very trustworthy. It's not him I'm worried about. He is loyal and loving to me and really an awesome guy. We have a solid friendship and marriage. As I write this, I think it probably sounds sillier of me to even worry about going to this event. However, I know myself. I've had relationship trauma in my past with boyfriends and ex-husbands who cheated on me multiple times. I am working to resolve these issues in therapy, but the issues are still there, and I know it. I feel like this event will trigger me if we go there and she flirts with him, or if I get any sense at all that there's a spark between them. When I am triggered, I have a hard time keeping myself from panicking. I have some sort of panic attack thing that happens, and that frightens me. Is it wrong for me to want to protect my marriage and not bring him to this? Or should I not go at all? Is it wrong for me to want female friendships that don't involve my spouse so I can feel comfortable? No, not at all. All you have to do is say, I thought about it and I don't want to have a friendship with my husband as part of the picture. I want him to stay in a separate part of my life, and I want to have my female friends in a different part of my life. And I don't want the two to cross over. So either I come by myself or neither one of us come. Which would you prefer? She'll be like, oh. And did you ever be telling her then at that point, basically, don't ever do this shit again because it's not going to happen. And you ain't coming to my house either, bitch. Not around my husband. Not going to happen. So I don't know. I don't have a problem with that. I had a friend like that. I mean, she had another friend who she didn't trust around her husband. Whereas I could be there all the time with him, and she'd leave and I'd be there because she knew that no, I don't do people like that. And I'm the one who don't even snoop in people's drawers and medicine cabinets and stuff like that. When they go, I don't look at none of their books on the table and stuff. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. If you say sit down, I'm gonna sit there. If you say you can watch TV, I'll pick up the remote and turn the TV on and I'll watch the TV. But I'm not going to touch anything. I'm not going to go through your cabinets, your drawers, ask your kids. No, I'm not going to do that. That's not how I conduct myself. So she knew that, and she trusted me around her husband. Like I said, even alone. I have other friends like that too. They trust me around their husbands. And so it's like, but I have very strict boundaries, and something like this, they've never felt, the least bit threatened about by me because they know how I roll. This lady you're feeling very cautious. And I'm saying that that's for a reason. There's something that you're picking up on. You might not be able to articulate it, but something's happening here. So that would be my suggestion, what I would tell her, and see what she says, how she responds to that. That'll tell you all you need to know. If she's like, oh, girl, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I totally get it. No problem. Just rescind the invitation to him and come on. That's your friend. But if she's like, oh, why not? Oh, come on. I really wanted to meet him and all this kind of shit, then you know that you're right and you need to start backing up from that shit. Question number 24, female 20 to 34 from Philadelphia. Other parties are male, it says male friends 24 to 26. I made a few male friends this year in grad school. Mind you, they range in age from 24 to 26. Oh, so you're a little older than them. And I just like their insults. I get their style of roasting their friends, but some of this seems disrespectful. For instance, one guy keeps saying how surprised some guy was into me considering your looks. And his running joke is that I must date people in a visually impaired clinic or trick them. Oh, I recently became friends with his roommate who is gay, and the roommate quickly invited me to hang out. I realized, despite being classmates and texting, the original guy never initiated hanging out of school. I feel like this level of roasting is inappropriate because it's not like we actually hang out. In fact, I met up with them to study recently, and because the roommate messed up the time, I was 3 minutes late, and I heard the guy say, "See, I told you that you shouldn't have invited her." He felt super bad that I heard, and I was right before exam, but still, the next time he insults me, how should I react or what should I say? I did want to be friends outside of school with him, but if we haven't hung out much yet, I don't think it's appropriate for him to roast me like that. Once you finish exams, cut these folks loose. But the main thing when I'm sitting up here looking at some boys this age, because they are boys, you're older than them and you have been in grad school, and he's gonna start talking about your looks and making these running jokes and stuff. Just say, when you talk like that, you're giving off little dick energy. You're giving off little dick energy. Or you could just go to root where, he starts talking about you and you start telling your mama jokes. Where are you at? Philly. Y'all, I know you should know some of your mama jokes. Your mama's so fat. She walked in front of the TV and I missed 3 shows. Or, your mama got her own zip code. They probably online. We used to do those as kids and they are stupid, but they're funny. But the main point is, it's not going to be a serious kickback, except for the little dick energy. But it's going to be something that's going to make them laugh at him for trying to come at you like that. So you got to flip it around. You be savage right back. It doesn't seem like you had that energy though, because you sitting up here whining. You supposed to fire back on his ass. Like, why are you so worried about who I'm dating and who I'm fucking? You need to be worried about some pussy that you should be trying to get. That's why you sitting up here with all these different dudes, because you ain't getting none with that little dick energy you got. Little clown. So I don't know. I mean, I would have to find something, depending on what he looked like, I would just give him the read and just go to town on him too. It's like, yeah, you can talk about me. We gonna do, but that's what we doing. That's what we doing. So you gonna talk about me, expecting me to talk about you back? Because this ain't gonna be no one-sided show where you only look into the mirror. You're gonna see a reflection right back at you, son. Yeah, I don't understand why she's so desperate to be around these clowns anyway. She must not have no friends. But like I said, the thing about men is they don't respect weakness. And I think that's the thing. A lot of women, they want to try to be nice. Men don't respect weakness. With a man, what you should be seeking for him to have for you is respect way more than he ever likes you. You don't give a fuck if he likes you or not. What you need is for him to respect you. So when you come into a room, they be like, oh shit, she's a bitch. She's savage. Let's don't fuck with her. That's the kind of thing that you want. You don't want them to feel comfortable that they're gonna gang up on you and bully you like that and tear you to shreds, and you just gonna sit there and take it. You have to fire back. You fire back enough times and rip him and have people laughing at his ass, he'll stop because he'll know that you're not the one. That you're gonna give just as good as you get. And that's something I think more women need to, find that voice to fire back at them. Because I said, my number one phrase I've been using since like 10th grade. Oh, is that what we doing? And I had, the little boys like me and they wanted to act stupid. Is that what we doing? And then I proceed to do exactly what they're doing, but up the ante at several levels until they just be sitting there just humiliated. Because, when you grow up with brothers, you get a sharp tongue. Because I couldn't catch them. I learned to throw stuff at them, But even after that, I mean, they got tall and they got muscular and they got faster. So I couldn't catch them, but I could catch them with words, and I would just make them feel like they were 2 inches tall. So that's the skill I developed to level the playing field. You need to practice. Question number 25. We got 26 questions, so this is the next to last one of the evening for What the Fuck Wednesday. Male, 18 to 21. He's white from Boston, Massachusetts. I need to know what you ladies think about asking for consent before I kiss someone on an early date. I've been getting mixed advice from my friends, so I figured I would try asking here since most of the viewers are female. I have a coffee date on Saturday, and I don't know if I should ask for consent or not because I don't want to kiss her without permission, but I also don't want to ruin the mood of romance. Any advice is appreciated. Aren't we putting the cart a little before the horse, young lad? You haven't even met the woman yet, and you already planning to do a lip lock? What if you meet her and you can't stand her? What if you meet her, she got funky breath and fucked up teeth? What if she's a 4x4, 4 feet tall and 4 feet wide? Are you still going to want to kiss her? You haven't met her yet. You don't know nothing about her yet. You haven't seen her yet. So, that face-to-face thing, no matter what kind of attraction you may have by sharing a few words online, is nothing like meeting people in person. Because when you just online, you build up a fantasy of what they look like, what they are like, and how you're going to get along with them, how you're going to feel, and all that stuff. And then you meet them, and there's nothing there. It's kind of crushing sometimes. The chemistry is really a thing. So if you meet her and you don't have none, then this is just a waste of energy. So I'm going to tell you to slow your roll. And you meet the girl, the most you should do is something like that, is maybe give her some little half, like an open arm hug, not pressing her all up against your chest, that side hug kind of thing. Maybe a kiss on the cheek if it's really good, but you're not going to be lip locking nobody that you just met just for a coffee date. You're doing too much. Slow your expectations. Look at my video about your expectations for 4x4. Little short, fat women. But yeah, you're doing way too much. Slow down. You're not going to ask nobody for nothing. Now, by the time you're on your second date, then maybe. But then you just meet her for coffee. That's just a meet and greet. You ain't kissing nobody. My God. And this is a final question, number 26. Male in the 22 to 27 age group. He's black. He's a Leo. From Manassas, Virginia. Is that how you pronounce that? Manassas? Okay. I stopped at a store with a female friend in my car. I had to pop in and buy something at the last minute. I left my phone on the back seat, expecting to be back in less than 5 minutes. But when I came back, I saw my friend with my phone in her hand. I asked her what she's looking at and can see my text messages thread up. She lied and said that she was trying to find a phone number online. I told her to give me my damn phone and to get out of my car. She refused and just sat there. I drove her ass home and she apologized, saying she was just bored. Would anyone still keep this kind of person as a friend? I wouldn't. First of all, let me tell you why. That's a straight violation. She had to reach her ass. She in the front seat. She had to reach her ass and twist all of the seat around to get your phone from the back seat. You a dummy for not having your phone locked with your fingerprint security code, so she couldn't have got in it. I don't even have no whole bunch of men in my life, and I have that on mine. You ain't getting in my phone without my code, my screen pattern, and a fingerprint. Google. I have a Google 5 phone. So, it's two things to get in there. Okay, so that was your fault. That was dumb. Okay, then you're going to ask her what she's doing, and she's going to lie to your face. And then the violation of trying to scroll through your phone for what? Why is that her business to do that? And why would she be picking up your stuff to go through your phone and she just a friend? See, you did really well, Mr. Leo. You did very well. I'm proud of you. It might be because you're young. You haven't arrived at your full roar yet. You're still a little kitten meowing. So when you get to your full Leo roar and somebody does some egregious shit like this and violates your boundaries like this, you're going to blow their head off with your roar. But you just like, you just took her home. And that bitch would have to get the fuck out of my car. We wouldn't have been going nowhere. You get the fuck out. And if we're going to sit here all night, I don't care. But I'm not taking you nowhere. You should have thought about that when you was busy picking up my phone. And then she would have got cussed out, and that would have been the end of that. I would have went on my phone and blocked her. So my answer to your question is this is nobody you can trust. Get rid of this girl. You cannot call her a friend. She's shady as hell. Get rid of her. You don't know what she was looking in your phone for. Was she trying to get to your banking app? You see what I mean? You don't know what she was trying to do. So, and I'm just suspicious of why she picked it up and then lied about it. I mean, if she was going to talk to your texting, why'd I say I was just nosy? I was trying to see who you was texting. That would have been me if I was really going to do something like that, which I never would. But I wouldn't lie about it. I would just say, oh, that's what I did. Yep, it is what it is. And if you told me to get out, I would get out because I would know that I was the one who did the wrong thing. That's what Ubers are for. But that would be my suggestion that you get rid of her because of the fact that she broke the code and she violated and she lied to your face. So see, that's 3 strikes. She out. She gone. She's a trip. Oh my God. I just can't even imagine somebody doing some mess like that. Okay, so what do we have going on here? Oh, the next thing we have coming up, we're doing this webinar next month. Log on to Debsterism.com if you need help figuring out, just like these ladies tonight, how to recognize when someone is exhibiting toxic behavior before you get caught up, before you invest time, money, energy, your body, get married, whatever it is you're doing, you need to figure out how to recognize these types of people and what kind of behaviors and attitudes are displayed that are toxic. So many young girls, I think this stuff is normalized to them. They don't notice, they don't see it, they don't recognize it for what it is. So that's a very important aspect of having a healthy relationship. You got to recognize when it's not. That seems kind of basic, but it's very true. So many young ladies, as you see by the stories tonight and last week and the week before that and the month before that, it's the same thing over and over. They just don't understand when someone is treating them poorly and being manipulative, controlling, and narcissistic and a whole bunch of other abusive type behavior. Other than that, there is a new video up. It's very short, like 3 minutes. The 12, my 12, called a Deb's Dirty Dozen of first date rules. But I think, like I said, in retrospect, those 12 rules apply to a lot of other types of relationships further down the line than just the first. But if you adhere to those for the first date, you'll never go wrong and you'll eliminate a lot of foolishness and you won't get yourself involved. It'll be the first step to recognizing and avoiding a toxic relationship. All right, so you guys take care. I'll try to get something up over the weekend or maybe even schedule something. It depends how it goes. I'm supposed to go up to my cousin's house. So if I can get her to record a video, that would be great. Other than that, I guess then I'll see you all again next Tuesday for What the Fuck Tuesday. See you later. Bye-bye.